Today we're going to be giving you a closer look at this 3D pen.
Alright, so these are all the things that it comes with. Your 3D pen, of course, comes with a power cable, which is a microUSB power cable, which is nice because everybody has one of those sitting around just in case you lose that. It also comes with 2 filaments. My colors that it came with were pink and orange. Colors may vary, I don't know. But the filaments are 1.75 millimeter filament, so you can go and buy extra ones that you want. Just get that thickness, 1.75 millimeter. It also comes with 2 finger covers. These are rubber finger covers so that you can touch those filament without getting burned, which is kind of nice. And they're just rubber and they just fit right on over your fingers, whichever ones you want. And then you're good to go. So the 3D pen in itself, it's got the cover here. This is where it comes out. Obviously this gets very hot, so don't touch that when it's on. This little black cover here comes off, twists off there just in case there's something in there you need to get out, like a clog. But after using this for a while, there is no clogging that this does. And I'll tell you why here in a sec. It has 2 buttons, pretty simple. This is your go button, and this is your temperature button. And then on the back, you feed the filament in the back through that little hole, and your power goes right in there. So this will accept PLA and PCL type filaments. There's your temperature, so I'll show you how to plug it in. Once you plug this in, red light comes on. This is your time to configure it. So if you want the PLA mode, which is the high temperature, you hit the temperature button, yellow light comes on. If you don't want that, then leave the light off, and that's your low temperature PCL type filament. To actually start it up, you hit this button again, the red light will blink. That means it's heating, it's preheating. And when that turns green, you're ready to go and load the filament. Just know that once you hit that button, if you need to change the temperature, you need to unplug the power and start over, plug it back in and start all over again, because you can't change the temperature after you've done that. So we're green, so we're going to take this filament, I'm going to put it in the hole in the back here, and then you're going to hit that go button. Motor's going to start up, and it's going to start pulling that filament through. As you can see, it is pulling it through. And once it gets to the end, it just automatically starts and you start printing. It takes just a second here, and I'll show you. Obviously it's hot when it comes out, so there it's starting to come out right there. And to stop it from coming out, of course, if you need to cool it or anything like that, you hit the go button again and it'll stop. Then you can cool this piece down or whatever, and then hit the go button again, and it starts coming back out again. Okay? And then to change your colors, or if you're done and you want to pull this out, you hold in the go button for 3 seconds, and it starts to retract it until it's fully out. So what's nice about this pen is that I've used it quite a bit now, and there hasn't been any clogs. And the reason why it has no clogs is because every time you hit that go button to stop, it retracts it a little bit in there, so it doesn't sit at the end and get clogged up. Also, if you let it sit for 30 seconds, I think, and not use it, then it'll automatically turn off and retract it up a little bit farther so that it doesn't get clogged in there. And then when you turn it back on, you just hit go and it just starts going again. So now that it's out, we could totally switch it with pink or another color or whatever we want to do. But remember, if it's a different temperature from PCL to PLA or PLA to PCL, you'd have to pull the power, plug it back in, start over, and change your temperature. But that's it, and we'll show you a few examples of things that you can do with this in the next videos.
Here's an example of Jeff making a pair of glasses using this 3D pen. So you can draw things out on a flat level and then pick up the pieces and be able to build them and put them together. So we've seen people do airplanes and things like this where they draw the flat pieces and then they put them all together to make a 3D element. So you don't have to feel like in order to use a 3D pen that you have to be insanely artistic or anything. You can just print out a template or something of something that you can make and then pick up and put together and make 3D in a way that you wouldn't be able to necessarily do with paper, because it'll come out in this nice little plastic piece. As you can see, this isn't exactly a quick art form. I'm speeding this up. But anytime that you're making a thick line or you're going over and over a section with this pen, it does take some time. So this doesn't have a very, very slow speed, but it doesn't have faster speeds on it as well. It's just one steady speed. On most surfaces, you'll see that this will peel off pretty nicely. Paper is not necessarily one of them. If we could go back and do this project again, I would have just put that in a little plastic sleeve or have something clear covering it. That would have made it easier for this to peel off. You can see that a little bit of paper came with it. It was easy for us to peel that off and fix over time and really didn't affect the overall project. But it comes out nice and solid. You can see that it's bendable and stretchy, those individual pieces. And they're flexible, but it is thoroughly plastic. This pen does have a slower dry time than some. The advantage there is that you can put it on there and it doesn't just dry instantly, so it's set where it's at. You can kind of maneuver and play with it a little bit until it has thoroughly cooled into place. Next, we're going to be showing you an example of making a 3D cube so we can show you vertical drawing with this pen. One huge disadvantage to only having one speed on this pen is that you can't slow it down. So when you want to make a vertical line straight up in the air and do detailed work in the air, most pens you will want to slow the speed down in order to get that concentrated here. Now these are really thin lines. It's a little bit difficult to see here, but when we go straight up in the air on this speed, what you need to do is draw that line and then hold it there at the top where you want to stop, turn the pen off, and blow on it to help it to dry nicely in place. Once it's dried, you can just pull the pen up and release, and that straight line will stay there. making these top lines across the cube was a little tricky as well, because you kind of need to hold it in place. It's kind of loose and soft as it takes a little bit of time to dry, and it comes out so quickly that you can't slow it down and have it dry a little bit faster. So you can see that Jeff is using his fingers here to support. Now they did leave some little marks, and it's a crooked line there. Something else that you can do is take like a pen or something that you can draw across and just put a flat little something underneath there, maybe like a popsicle stick or something, to support the center of it to help it keep shape until it's able to dry. It does need a little bit of extra support and you blowing on it. If you were running a fan nearby blowing on it, that might make a difference as well. But you can see that it dries there. Overall, this pen is really cool. It's definitely on the less expensive end than some of those other ones that you can get. And it's simple and straightforward with only one speed and setting. So this one's a great one for kids to start out with, but it's fun and awesome for adults as well. A con would definitely be that without that slow speed, it's hard to do the vertical drawing, but there are definitely ways to make 3D objects without needing to do too much of that. A huge pro with this one is that it does not clog easily. And that has been your closer look at this 3D pen.